Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. I was cutting that rather close. The kettle took longer to boil than I thought it would. So, hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I can see there's a few people here already. Nothing better to do on a Saturday night. Basically, my wife has gone out for the evening because she sings in the band, and the kids are asleep, and there was nothing else really to do. So I thought, why not do a stream? I haven't done one in a fair while, so it'll be fun to do one. And yeah, I thought I'd turn the camera on as I did some painting. So I can see we've got a few people, so let's see who we've got. This is good actually, because normally when I do streams on the plastic crack, you're looking at my face, whereas this time now you're actually looking at the table. So we've got Epic Joey, hello. Bill Roy, hello. Dave Baker, Battle Matt, painting early Imperial Romans tonight and half watching Strictly. Joshua, Rovens, how you guys doing? Steve, you're just adding some last minute building for CrackCon. Good stuff. Shakos, you've got 5 battalions to finish by CrackCon. No panic. Yeah, don't worry. You've still got 6 days. What day is it? Yeah, 7 days. Or 6, actually. I see. This is the pre-CrackCon. Is this the pre-CrackCon party? Hide your wallets, folks, before we end up buying Normans. I am painting Normans. I'm also painting some Lord of the Rings stuff and some Dead Man's Hand stuff because, well, I'll tell you it. And Rhett is in from Sacramento. Hello, welcome. Well, evening, everyone. So, yeah, basically, I just thought I'd turn the camera on as I did some painting. So, yeah, I am working on more Normans, so I'm just finishing these. These are the Victrix ones, much like the last lot I did. So I'm just working on another base now. But I would have had these done earlier in the week, but I decided to do some of the Arabs. So there you go. There's a sneak peek. So these are some of my Seljuk Turks. So I've done 3 bases of these guys. I'm just waiting for my banners to show up. I did that thing where I ordered all the models, and I was like, something's missing. And then I realised it was I didn't have any flags. So the guys holding the flagpoles aren't on these bases yet. So, but these were good fun. These are the Gripping Beast plastics mixed with some metals as well. So it's all going well. My plan is to build them simultaneously. So I've got 1 unit of each at the moment, and I'm working on my second Norman unit right now. You can see, just finished the shields for which are from. The transfers are from Little Big Men, but I've still got to weather those up, and then I've got to do the bases. So, and on top of that, I was rittling around in my sort of stash because I've sorted a load of it out, and I found that I still had a load of warriors, a whole sprue of Warriors of Rohan that I hadn't finished, or I hadn't even started. So I've got those, and I'm working on the Baron for Dead Man's Hand. So lots of zombie cowboys down here. So look at. But anyway, what are you guys all working on? What are you doing on a Saturday night? I noticed some of you said you're preparing for CrackCon. I hope everyone's ready. I haven't got any models that I really need to paint for CrackCon. I've just got to make sure, along with Ken, Dom, and Steve, that we actually turn up and that we bring a whole load of our ready painted models with us. So we're very much looking forward to it. Right, I think we're going to get started. Where was I? Flesh. I don't normally have all my paints over like this, but I didn't have time to clear everything up because the kids ended up going to bed a little bit later than I thought they would. Rovens, you're preparing which figures? I was out for CrackCon, and Shako's got a box full of trees sorted. Excellent. I think the venue's quite excited as well about the prospect of having all these historical games going on. I think I get the impression there's very much normally a sci-fi fantasy vibe that goes on in it, which isn't a bad thing. But I think he's quite looking forward to there being a big historical day, basically. And but we have got some fantasy. Obviously, we've got some Lord of the Rings stuff going on, and we've got some. There was something else fantasy. I've got the list. I do need to check it. I did have a slight panic on Monday when Facebook went down because that's where my list of games was. So I've made sure I've screenshotted everything just in case, because I don't do Excel. So much to Ken and my wife's annoyance. Epic Joey, you're doing some drawing tonight. You've been working on Prussians for the Franco-Prussian War. Ah, fantastic. That seems to be taking off quite a lot. Is that the new Perry set, or is that Eagle of Empires? I know Carl got some Eagle of Empires stuff, and so did obviously Dom did. I know Franco-Prussians are certainly becoming quite popular, especially with the release of the Perry set. Rovens, it's for Crackon and working out if you can paint up something new. There's always room for something new. And you're sorting out your Brits with stupid fat fingers. Epic Joey, you're at the club yesterday and cut yourself one hell of a Napoleonic deal. A whole bottle of Vitrasol Gold for €2 or £1.50 for you guys. Bloody hell. That's 60, isn't it? I thought it was a good deal at whatever it is, 25 quid. Nothing tonight. You're away for the weekend. Where you gone? And Steve, don't forget the badges. Yes, hopefully there will be some burrows and badges. And Simon says, make paint play. Good evening. You finish off your second batch of 100 Wars of the Roses due to my terrible influence. You're not the first person to say that. Fantastic. Epic Joe, you want to be a member, but you don't have PayPal, so do the Perry's flat powder. You're always in good hands with the Perrys. Simon, what are you working on then for your Wars of the Roses? Are you is it Yorkist, Lancastrian? Have you done something else? I've had quite a lot of people email me asking questions about sort of the French and Scottish armies and what they were doing. So I think there's quite a lot of people who are still pretty interested in the Wars of the Roses, as am I. Andrew, after you finish this paper, you'll be working on Macedonians. I just finished a battalion of Hanoverians for a friend's army. Good. I do like the Hanoverians, as you may have told. Well, I like them when I'm using them, as in the battle report against old Ken. But I hate playing against them. And there's nothing particularly special about them. It's just whoever controls them seems to do really well. They've got less special rules than British, like standard British units. So I just realised I'm using a brush way too big. So I do my flesh before I do any of the other highlighting on these guys, but I'm painting these Normans a little bit back to front because I undercoat them, because I used a contrast paint. So I actually pick out all the straps and all of the decorations first. Then I fill in the armor around it. Then I give the whole thing a good wash with different tones for different areas. And then once after, I come back in and do the flesh and the highlighting, because I found that I don't want to even do a base coat on the flesh and then wash it with strong tone or something like that, because it just doesn't really behave the way I ever behaved the way I want it to. So I just use this dark oath flesh. Oh, is it going to focus? Yeah, there we go. I just use this dark oath flesh to get a nice base coat on all of them. So, and these Victrix models are nice. I mean, they're quite chunky. Ow, and spiky. There we go. What I'm going to do, actually, if I move these over here, then I might actually be able to get this in a bit more in shot, if I can. There we go. I really am loving this period, although I've been searching a lot of websites and I found a lot of suppliers who sell very, very nice miniatures, and it's becoming increasingly hard to not buy them. I've got a whole list of V&V models and Perry miniatures that I want to order next, because I've mostly used Victrix Gripping Beast so far. But hopefully it won't actually be too long for I have a battle report of these. And if you're waiting for the next Wars of the Roses battle report, again, I am sorry it hasn't materialized yet. It's just basically just poor timing between myself and my opponent. Whenever I'm free, he's busy, and vice versa. And we were hoping to have one this coming week, and hopefully we will. But we've my business sometimes keeps me pretty busy. My business partner and my friend who plays the Lancastrians, his job is it's pretty high pressure as well. So we can't where we have best laid plans. Sometimes we're just simply too tired and don't want to do a battle, be too tired, and it come out not how I would like. So anyway, let's catch up with a few comments. Epic Joey, you got 60 figures, also got a bag of Old Glory Imperial Guard for €25. So you got those for nearly 12 times as much as you did your old guard. Grand Prigo, you're doing some rare evening painting. I know that feeling. Oh, you're in Canterbury. Good choice. You're going to go to where Beckett was killed. Balmat, I forgot to say Miller is playing Cromwell at CrackCon. We're doing a what if Essex versus Cromwell. I thought he was going royalist. Could he not bring himself to do it? The sport. I was really hoping to get a photo of him with like a royalist flag or something like that. Thing is, Miller's not on Facebook, is he, Matt? So all the shade you're throwing at him, he'll only know about now if he watches that stream. This stream, rather. Andrew, do you know if the plastic crackers do ancients? Do any of the plastic crack gents do ancients or classical? I think, yeah, Dom's got some ancients. I've got some Carthaginians. If you ask in the Facebook group, I dare say there'd be a fair few. I think there's quite a few people that have Roman armies. I think everyone sort of got on the whole infamy thing when that came out. Simon, you did 100 last week, which would the Wars of the Roses, a mixture, and these guys would be 2, so I can mix and match 2 skirmish-sized forces. Only fix was 30 archers in green and white, because that would double up for Flodden, green and white. So I assume you've got that's Jasper and Henry's men. That being said, I was looking at the Steel Fist miniatures, make those little dollies that are sized perfectly for the Perry Miniatures arms, so you can basically make Tudor troops. And I quite like that idea. I wish some more people did stuff like that. Mark, hello. You're managing a live list of watch runs from San Antonio. Hello. Welcome. I've done that thing where it's just gone to the bottom again. There we go. Shakos. What are the Victrix Republican Romans like? I've got some of the Republican Romans for my Punic Wars stuff, and they look all right. I haven't painted any of them yet, so I'll have to see. Lionheart, you really like those Normans. They are very nice. They are very tempting. Fantastic. There are some really, really nice things in here. Thomas Becket and the Tomb of the Black Prince. Sorry, I've just realised I've been wearing my headphones and I don't actually know why, because of course I'm not actually on the stream with anybody. So I'm just going to pop my headphones over here for a second, because that way I might actually hear if my kids wake up. I don't know why I actually pop those on. Simon says, "Who is it made to Tudor dollies?" It's Steel Fist Miniatures, mate. I'll find the link for you and drop it in here. But if you're interested in the sort of Italian wars or Landsknecks and all of that, and Samurai, Steel Fist are the place to go. They have got some pure, just stunning stuff, and it's all metals as well. What I'll do, I'll find there and drop a link in here in the chat for you. And they've actually just restocked, I think, a lot of their stuff. So you should be in luck. And I've seen quite a few people paint these up. Where are they? Of course, this is a problem. They got one of those websites that are absolutely filled with stuff. So it can be quite hard to find. There we go. Copy. And There we go. There's the links in the chat, mate. Have a look at that. They're metal, and they just take the arms. They've just got that like long overcoat. I've seen some people paint those up really cool with the Tudor rose in the middle as the livery. Battle Matt, you're doing Victoria Romans now. They're easy to assemble and a good deal. That's cool. Oh, sorry, Victrix. Is that autocorrect? Okay, no question. What are my thoughts on War Games Atlantic set choice? Scattering releases over a range instead of focusing on a few. It's an interesting one. I can kind of see the point in it because they're making, that someone is going to buy from everything. There's Napoleonic players, and I've got a friend who's bought the Halflings who's got no interest in historical gaming. He just likes fantasy. I've got another friend who's bought the Halflings for Kings of War, and he's mixing them with the Mantic stuff. But then there's someone else, I think, who's got the Riflemen. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. The problem is, I think they have to keep it up, and aren't they doing it all by poll? Aren't they just polling each time? So I suppose they're just in one way. I suppose that's not clever. I wouldn't say necessarily clever. I mean, it's interesting. You are basically just releasing what your audience wants you to release. But it would be, are they actually going to have they actually got two sets? It's set in the same period. Obviously, they've got the Prussian Reserves and the 95th Rifles, but they're not for the same army. Have they actually got anything for the same army? Don't actually know. I don't actually own any War Games Atlantic stuff, I don't think. No, I don't. No, I don't. Something I was interested in was the Landsknecht ogres that they were going to release, because I thought they'd be quite cool to mix in with my Kings of War Empire troops, so I could have like an ogre like in the ranks of the halberdiers. So I could actually, that look quite cool. The only thing in the Dark Ages, they have the Irish, which isn't bad, but that's the draw of the Viking Age. Okay. Is that the draw of the Viking Age? I mean, that Irish box set, my friend bought, and that Irish box set is an entire warband for Saga. Done. You've got the dogs. You've got enough to make 4 1-point units, I think, and you've got the dogs on top of that. And I think you can actually, with some spares, make a warlord out of what's in there, or just buy a metal warlord, or a nice individual, resin sculpted miniature, and yeah. So that's a good deal. But it's almost like a one-time purchase thing if you're doing it for Saga, because if that's a warband, you're just sort of done. Just working on faces. So the guy here, I do like a pointing miniature, so I thought I'd give him a banner. I've got to decide which one. So the banner I used on the last set was sort of a black one, but I don't know what you guys think. These are the banner choices from Little Big Men. Because this one, if you imagine this is the miniature that's going to be holding it. So I thought maybe this one at the bottom might be better, and actually have it sort of fluttering a bit more. Or I could have that quite elaborate one, but I was thinking about the elaborate one on a command base. Yeah, let me know what you think. What do you guys reckon? What banner should I go with? Should I go with the traditional Crusader, Red Crusader cross with this fella who's sort of pointing and leading his men, or should I go with something a little bit more funky with this one here with the purple, yellow, and black? I'll pop that over there, and that will remind me to check back and have a look. Killer Greaseman, hello. How you doing, dude? Shakos, they do tend to start. Yep, they do. I mean, that's not a bad idea, is it? Starting out with somebody else hasn't. It was interesting, wasn't it? Because they did announced their release of the Italians for World War II, and then all of a sudden Warlord announced theirs. Although I think Warlords aren't out until next year. I saw that Dom posted something earlier saying something about that, and the Warlord kit does look nice, and I do like World War II, as in gaming it. I just don't. I've kind of painted everything I need for it, and that was before I started the channel. And every now and then I think about, oh, should I do another force, and would it be a good project? And then I just kind of bottle it every time. For a long time I've wanted to do a Finnish force, but because I play that Operation Squad, I only need to build about 10 men to have a game. So I could actually build quite a few different armies. Driarius, how you doing, dude? I hope everybody else is going all right. I'm going all right. I've got an evening to myself. I've got some painting. I've got some people to keep me company, and I've got some wine, which I'm going to have when this is finished. Andrew, the value for their sets is great, but it's more along the lines of they chose an Irish for Dark Age, 95th Rifles and Brits. Landwehr for Prussia isn't bad, but it's into yeah, that is very true. And also the Prussians are they're all troops, aren't they? They're called like a unit builder, so there aren't any sort of command figures in it, which is a little bit like these plastic Seljuks or Saracens from Gripping Beast. There's no command figures in that. You get loads of spearmen bodies, and you get up to 16 archers, but you get the option to make those archers into spearmen if you just wanted 40 spearmen, which is why I had to buy some metal command to go with them. Fluttering and a Crusader cross. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Agrees, you're currently painting your Forge World Death Riders. Are those is that Deathcore of Krieg? Are those the the mounted Deathcore of Krieg? I remember Steve telling me about those. I think he bought some, and I think at the time he was slightly shocked at their price. The problem is with the Deathcore, they look really cool. So is that who they are? Obviously, when you buy Byzantines from Fireforge, and do I wish that had some to my Crusader force? Yes, and yes. Part of the draw of this this period, or specifically the First Crusade, is all of the armies that took part in it, and I like that. You know, there's lots of options for modelling, lots of fun that you can have, adding lots of little allied contingents, and one part of that is the big part that the Byzantines, well, I say the big part the Byzantines played. They played a big part in sort of kicking off the Crusade, and then they gave support, and they were sort of a constant presence. But you know what I've said before, it's like if I can find any way to shoehorn in something that has some kind of vague historical reference, and I will. So yes, I will be doing some Byzantines, maybe just like a couple of units to add in, although it would be cool to have the Varangian Guard running around. Shaco's the Warlord kit does look better. Wargames and just beat him to getting one out. I think that'll come down to it though, because if will people sit and wait for the Warlord one to be released, or will they? Do people want to do Italians? It's not something that I'm really up on. So let me know. Do people really want to do an Italian army, or do you think people would be happy to wait for the Warlord set to come through? Wargames Atlantis seem to have introduced a new level of competition. They seem like they're disrupting things. Yeah, that's good though. If sometimes things need a bit of a show. Hello, Leslie. Where are the Zulus? The Zulus are up on the shelf above me, mate. There's two that are made up just here. There's two. I just haven't painted them yet. Well, I'll tell you why. Because I did say that the Zulus, it is going to be on project, and I bought a couple of boxes up there. And my intention was to sort of build them for Black Powder, but you know how I like to build up things on multi-bases. But I know that there is a planned Zulu supplement for muskets and tomahawks, and that is a system I really like. So I was potentially going to wait for that, and then build them for that. I mean, I could there's nothing stopping me painting them all and single basing them, but I was umming and ahhing. In the meantime, I thought, yeah, Victrix Normans, they look lovely. I'll crack on with those while I sort of ruminate on the Zulus. That being said, I still look at that Zulu battle set from Warlord. It is just so cool. The other cool thing with these Normans is you do get a decent mixture of bodies. So you get like a guy like this, just wearing some padded armor, and then you get the chainmail as well, and then there's some scale armor in there as well, actually. So you can, you can put some of the more expensive stuff in there. You should have a Warlord Titan on your desk by Wednesday, Jesus. I have seen one of those. Shaco's War Games related Prussian Reserve kit is great. It'll bring loads of crack. Nicer to paint than the Perrys. Are they? Sacrilege. No, I know. Red Sev, mine. Does the Crackcon venue have roads I can use, or have I got to try and make some? I think they've got roads. I'll bring a load with me. I think they've got roads. I hadn't really thought about that. If you so it's been held at Boards and Swords Hobbies, and they've got a pretty active Facebook page. If you go over there and have a look on there, you'll see some game events, and you'll see the kind of stuff that they've got. So I think they've basically got, your basic sort of, grass mats that go down, and they seem to bulk it out, and the scenery looks decent. The thing is, if I think we're gonna, because most of us are playing sort of big battalion games, aren't we? So we're not going to want loads of scenery. We want some scenery, and we want like lots of trees and stuff like that. But at the same time, we don't. If you have too much, you can block your units. But I think they do have roads. But I say I'll be bringing some anyway, so there should be some. Is it a good or a bad idea to say we going to release? Do you mean in reference to War Games Atlantic? Or is in announcing what you're going to release? You're a big Forge World fan. Your teammate knows a Deathcore Krieg and Titan Legit. Now, I have some Forge World stuff, and I like the Forge World stuff, and I look at the Forge World stuff that they make for Lord of the Rings, because there is some wicked models in there. The price doesn't really put me off, to be honest, because if you pay for a quality model, you get a quality model. I can see how some people wouldn't like that. But if you're going to have a centerpiece or something, it'd be quite cool. That being said, I have seen the new kit for the Plastic Witch King, and I was salivating over that because it looks absolutely wicked. You've just finished your Perry Men-at-Arms for Warwick, and you're going to start on your Spanish for the First Crusade. Are you doing the Recon? Oh, sorry, the Reconquista. Is that it? Reconquista with El Cid. Very cool. In that, if you, I've actually got some pictures. Have you heard of Caballero Miniatures, David? You can get them if you're in the UK. You can get them here. So the guy designed Caballero. He designs 28mm. Well, they're not 28mm. He just does 3D designs. And they can be printed off at any size, but I've got some coming, and they are, I'll give you an idea. It's kind of the quality of the resin sculpts. They're very nice. And these are Spanish, but they could be used as any sort of Normans or stuff like that. I just happen to have those on my on my desktop because I was looking at them for some bits and bobs, so I'll be having some arriving here. Why not single base, magnetize, and put them onto movement trays? Well, yeah, I probably will. That's what I did for my French Indian War stuff. It's just if I want to build a massive black powder army, I can't be bothered to single base 500 miniatures. that will end me. I'd rather just do it, because obviously muskets and tomahawks is a smaller scale, which is, why it's appealing to me. And I think, I don't know, I just feel like it suits it. Rob, you use Italians in Chain of Command, and they're lots of fun. See, Chain of Command's a game I've never played. I do have to have a try. Rovens Jar of Sand is easy roads. Very true, and I've done that for a couple of things. Hello, Liam. How you doing, dude? Red stuff. Yeah, I think I've got plenty. Then I'll bring some along, and there should be stuff there as well. You've got 150 individual Krieg models in my main force, but it's going to be supported by 8 times. So are you now backing that up with some of the new plastic Kriegsmen, or are you doing like a purely Forge World force? Sorry, I'm just trying to I didn't wash my brush. Are you doing a purely Forge World force? Right, I'm just going to wash these spears. it's nice to actually have some time to do some painting, because I had a bit of a period in the last, well, sort of 6 weeks before I started these Crusaders, where I didn't really have much time to do any, and it does start to get annoying. You start to feel like you're letting yourself down a little bit, but there's no point in painting if you're, or I find if you're too tired, I make too many mistakes, and then I get annoyed at the mistakes that I make. Red Steph, oh hello mate, it's SGM66. Hello dude. I think I've seen that name before, but Killer Creeks Marine says, don't want any artillery support, he'd rather have the ones that walk with void shields. They do have some very nice stuff. Simon, who would you recommend for French regulars for the French and Indian War? Who did I get one from? If it's for muskets and tomahawks, so where you've only got sort of like 8 or 12 guys a unit, who did I use? I used North Star. Crusader. I use Crusader miniatures and North Star, but I think it's Crusader miniatures who make the really nice ones. That's who my Grenadiers are from, and I've got some French regulars. I just need to paint them up. I think you have to go look under the 7 Years' War. I'm not as up on the 7 Years' War and stuff as I am, say, on Napoleonics or Wars of the Roses, so I can't tell you much about the intricacies of the uniforms, but to me they looked close enough, all right, that then I thought I could go with them. So it's a whole resin army. That's dedication, mate. That's dedication. Brigade Games does make some awesome French Indian War. I was looking at their stuff. I really do enjoy the French Indian War muskets. I mean, basically getting into muskets and tomahawks made me go and read a lot more about it. I'll put my hands up. I didn't know loads, and it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Hello, Miller. How you doing, dude? You might want to scroll up higher. I hear that you're going to be Cromwell in the game against Essex. What happened? I thought you were going to be good old Charles. I thought we were going to see you donning some royalist colours. Could you just not bring yourself to do it, just in case there was a photograph? Disappointed. There was actually like a whole planned photo and meme, and it's just not going to happen now if you're being Cromwell. And anyway, wasn't Cromwell better at attack? Are you defending? I thought Cromwell was really good at attacking. For those of you who aren't coming to CrackCon or don't know what I'm talking about, we're Miller here. He's putting on a game with Battlemat, who's in the chat as well. Miller's bought a Star Fort, and they're going to be doing an English Civil War game, so a bit of a siege. And it's we're looking forward to seeing it. Steph, you've been outside the whole hashtag I blame Martin movement, as I've already have a lot of order, but those Normans are very tempting. Yeah, like we said the other day, I do seem to get the blame for an awful lot, including things that have nothing to do with me whatsoever. I've been blamed for a lot. I've been blamed for an awful lot. I'm just going to put some weathering on these shields, and then I think these Normans are pretty much done. All the highlighting's been done. Oh, I've got to just do a final highlight across the armor. I'd like to do some dry brushing. You couldn't do it. You just couldn't bring yourself to do it. I don't know. These parliamentarians. Well, hopefully we're going to have a game, aren't we, dude? If we can sort one out before Christmas, that'll be ace. Get the ECW. My next video is going to be an English Civil War video. I've got my final regiment that I've done so far to show off. So I've now got a Fireball Force, which is Bard's regiment. So I thought I'd do a sort of a showcase and unit history kind of thing on it. I like doing those, and it's quite an interesting regiment because it kept on changing hands. Different people kept on sort of taking it over and buying commissions or however it worked. So its name changed a couple of times, its colours changed, the unit split in two, then it couldn't get proper ammunition or guns, and it was delivered like firelocks, and they didn't want firelocks or something. I don't know, but it's quite interesting. So that's going to be the next one. I do have 3 Dead Man's Hand games to edit and put together. What do people think? So I don't know how many people here if they play Dead Man's Hand, but so in Dead Man's Hand, each game or scenario is kind of split into 3 sub scenes. And the first one usually has a couple of guys and is usually over in 5 to 10 minutes. And the second one has, say, maybe 3 guys, and the results of the first game affect that. So my plan originally was to basically do 3 small battle reports. I thought it could be quite fun just to have like a 10-15 minute long battle report and do a to be continued. And then thinking about it, I was like, well, should I maybe put the first 2 together and then do the final one separate? I just thought it could be a bit of a laugh to have almost like a battle report you could watch on a coffee break at work. There we go. So it's one of my favorite colors. This is what I use for all my metal highlighting. This is Vallejo Air Chrome, and this one bottle has done me nearly, I think, 4 years now, and I only use it for highlighting and base sort of odd suits of armor that I want to pick out as say being a little bit more expensive. This is the one that if you wash it with Space Wolves Grey, the sort of the bluey grey contrast paint, it gives a really nice sort of knight in shining armor effect. If you've seen Excalibur, the kind of stuff that you'd see there. So I'm just going to basically highlight some upper areas of the chainmail just to pick things out, and the sun and heat of the Holy Land. If you guys saw the video, one of my goals is I'm going to be doing some sieges. I've already got my eyes on some walls that I'm going to be using, because there are a lot of sieges. There's some siege engines, and in the First Crusade, you've got these princes who've come all the way over from Europe to, partly for spirituality, and partly because they want to carve out their own kingdoms, because a lot of them were second sons who weren't really set to inherit very much. And they all hated each other, basically. They didn't necessarily always get on. And then to top it all off, you've got all these pilgrims that went with them, causing chaos. And there's a couple of battles where the Crusaders have to go and form shield walls around the pilgrims to protect them, when I think they really rather wouldn't have done, because it left them in a more vulnerable position. So at the same time, you've got the Seljuk battles with the Seljuk Turks. Then you've got battles with the Fatimids. The Fatimids wanted to ally with the Crusaders at one point against the Seljuks. Then you've got the stuff with the Byzantines. And then each other. They fought each other just about as much as they did everybody else. And we actually have a surprising amount of information from a lot of chroniclers. So there's some lovely little stuff, damn it, that I want to did it again. I want to add in. And but I'll save those. I'll talk about those when I do the videos, because I've got a couple of models that I'm going to have to try and get hold of. They're quite specific for the things that I want to do. So I'll get hold of them and then talk about them on the channel. Let's catch up with the chat. Oh dear, there's been quite a bit. There we go. So Killer Grease, you'll get some ministerial models, as I do like the cavalry. The ministerial stuff is cool. I'm quite partial to Rohan, but the ministerial models are cool. And there's some of the Fountain Guard, the guys who stand near the tree, the big sort of feather plumes. They're very nice. There we go. Right, now they're basically ready for shields. So I'm going to put the shields on them, and then I'll do the banner, but not while I'm doing the live stream. The banner will go on there tomorrow when everything else is dry. 1 second, let's get some glue, and then I'm going to get started on some of these Rohan. Simon, you're still making up armies from different periods. You've reenacted. So once Wars of the Roses is done, you do a French force from us. So you're into reenactment then. What other periods of reenactment have you done? Reenactment is something that I would like to do, but I'm quite scared it might be a hole that I sort of lose myself down. And I've got enough. I get quite into things, so I'm trying. I don't want to start something that I won't be able to commit to, or that will potentially bankrupt me, along with every other hobby that I sort of take on. Redoubt do some French Indian War stuff. They are very cool. Miller, the Earl of Manchester's defending, Essex is attacking, and Cromwell's coming along to save the day. That's just what Cromwell did, isn't it? I feel like we're going to be having a discussion in the pub. Shakers, you might be checking out your ECW. Got some on my next project. Printed General Haig's fault, but I blame mine. Yeah, blame me. It's fine. Used to it now. Used to it. Hayley started just she was telling me something the other day. I can't remember what it was. Oh, that was it. Something got left out of the food delivery that I was looking forward to, and I think she WhatsApped me to tell me to start. I'd have to pick it up on the way home, and then at the end of it, she put hashtag I blame Martin. Great. Getting grief from all sides. There we go. Right. There we are. So this. Go on his back. Very nice figures. Love them. I can't stop building them. I'm working on. I was building these at the same time as I was building my last Wars of the Roses unit, and because they're just so nice. There's just so much that you can do. Who's going to get a yellow shield? I think that Norman's going to get a yellow shield. Come on. Oop. Tilt that a little bit. There we go. Next one. Stripey. I think that's going to suit him. You actually get two different types of shields. You get the curved ones and the flat kite shields as well. DPM Day Paints, hey, you're up a bit late. Hello, dude. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. And Daz, hello. Bill Roy, you've just seen someone who's put a back of 6mm army on eBay. No. I have got some 6mm stuff. I did. Where is it? I did enjoy painting it. If I can find it. Obviously, I've got the 6mm samurai project that everyone keeps on shaming me for. But no, what I did. I got a sample pack of 6mm. God, is this even going to focus? ACW. Come on. There you go. So I have done 6mm. I did those. I did a cannon. This was the one I was most proud of. Look, I did my commanders. Look, Miller, there's you, ginger beard, on the horse. And then I did some skirmishers. I might still finish this project one day. It was just a test pack. It wasn't even a project. I just ordered one of the sample packs. I did start. This is from Salute. This was a momentary lapse. So I bought some of these forged in battle 15mm Gauls. I quite like the idea of doing Caesar's Gallic conquest. So look, there you go. So I do dabble in smaller scales. But yeah, those 6mm samurai came and they've defeated me. I've kind of stuck a few of them and undercoated a few of them onto things, and then I couldn't bring myself to start painting them. Cromwell saving the day, hopefully better his performance is. Oh, it's going to get political. She informs Shakes. I'll go over, mate. I look forward to seeing what she got. Greece, your plan is 2 Warlords, 2 Reaver, so 2 Warlord Titans, 2 Reaver Titans, and 4 Warhounds. Wow. Have you got a table big enough to play this on, to get all that on there? What size table are you gaming on? Ah, oh, nuts. Just realised I need to tilt it. So you probably noticed that I've taken all of these off of their pudding bases. So I am sticking these all. I am removing them all. It takes well, it doesn't take any time to saw them off, and then I make the bases, and then I stick everything on separate. Just because of the way I've got to build, the way I build these bases up, it would be too much because it involves quite a bit of dry brushing, and it would be too much of a pain to do it around the minis. So I decided I just sliced them off. Daniel Wincrest, what are we painting today? I am painting, well, I'm just finishing off this base of Victrix Normans, and great fun they are too. And then I'm going to put the first coats down on some Warriors of Rohan, because more Rohirrim is always a good thing. And then down here to my right, I've got a whole load of undead for Dead Man's Hand, which I've had for a while. And come on, there we go. So zombies who are led by this voodoo priest baron character who's also got a flintlock. So very cool. And then there's this kind of monster Ned Kelly kind of guy who's got knives for hands, a little zombie face inside his helmet. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. What about you? And there's a few more people painting in the chat as well. Alid, you've not played Dead Man's Hand in years, since the pre-release days when we used to play test it with Stuart. We'll have to dig the figures out and give it a fresh go. It's such a good game. It's just good fun. And that's what I like about it. So is you can just crack it out. We introduced someone to it on Wednesday night, and then by the end of the day on Friday, he'd won an eBay auction for the starter set that was on there because they sold out. Always good fun to get somebody else into a period or a game. There we go. So that's all of them done for this base. So that would be quite cool. So tomorrow I'll get the banner on there and see if I can get some more stuck together and finished. Right, let's have a bit of tea, see some more comments, and then we'll get started on the Warriors of Rohan. So, it's just done that thing where it drops to the bottom again. Bloody hell. There we go. Are these guys by Perry? No, these are all Victrix miniatures, mate. You get 60 in the pack. So I'm doing units of 15. So just from one pack for just shy of 30 quid, I'm making 4 units, which is good. It's very, very economical. Anyway, thank you again, everyone, for joining me tonight. It's nice to do some painting and to chat to some people at the same time. Otherwise, it would literally just be me and the cat. And he's had enough, and he's already gone. Your Krieg army is all painted, so you pick up more. Probably going to be another infantry platoon of Resident 10 more riders. Wow. That is commitment, dude. If you have to go over to the Plastic Crap Podcast Facebook page and post up some pictures. We've got some 40k players in there, and I'd love to see that. I know Steve from 1 Point HQ especially loves the Deathcore. Lionheart, Grip and Beast do some nice siege equipment. You're going to talk about the Crusades being trapped in Antioch and then supposedly found the Holy Lance and beat the Turks. Like, yeah, I thought we could do that. And then they get to Jerusalem and then they find the True Cross. Yeah, they got trapped and then they magic the I've forgotten his name. He's of an A. Antelo, I don't know, but The bishop that was with him died. Also, he had a dream, and then they found that lance, which was probably just a really big nail. Seventh Son, what are the walls are you going to use for the sieges? Do you reckon you could use them for the siege of Acre in 1799? 1799? Do you mean 1099? Or so? No, 1099 was no. Oh, so maybe it is 1799. I was looking at the Renedra city walls, but you'd have to do, I think, to make them look from that area, from sort of like the Middle East, you're going to have to, or from Palestine, you're going to have some like different kind of crenellation decorations on there. However, there's a lot of free STL files on Thingiverse for sort of mud brick buildings and Arabic buildings, and I was thinking about just trying to like print off some of those kind of like details. So that's my plan at the moment. Have I seen that war bases have got 2 mil Romans? Yeah, I did. I thought that when I looked at them, I thought that the blocks of Romans, I thought those were bases. I thought those were little metal textured, like little metal cobble bases, and I realised it was their helmets. You wish he had a beard like mine. I bet he does. ECW. So you've reenacted ECW parliamentarians. Oh, you and Miller should have a chat. That's what Miller did. World War II Soviets, Tudors, Jacobites, Norse Irish, and Reckless Wars of Roses. And a manor in Essex near Mina Beaufort's for anything other than Ferrybridge. That's a good shout. See, I'm from Cambridge, so and I know there's a tipped-off reenactment group, so I'd have to maybe see about that, as in the Butcher of England. Red Steph has asked, does anyone do a figure for Admiral Sir Sidney Smith? No idea. I'm not even going to attempt to answer that. I don't know. Cheers, Bill. Fortune Battle of Fantastic Scars had a Nickephone Byzantine army. Yeah, I know. They do those aren't. This is really nice looking army. And again, little big men make the transfers. 2 mil, you can't even see him. No, I know. I thought, like I say, I thought there was nothing like crushing the enemy atrium of Titanic thing. Martin, we should discuss 15mm Fortune Battle Romans and Gauls. You pay about 500 for a Caesar and Gaul project. Could go with the elbow shields. It would cost a fortune. I got a deal. I can't remember how I got them. I pretty much got them for free. I can't remember how. But then like the project never went anywhere, so I didn't. I might still have some. Palmat, you're doing 6 mil. You said to creep into Starfort and open up the gates. Yes, yes, your scale issues. What a bastard! I can't believe he did that to you. I'd never do anything so cruel. Have I not got Hayley bringing in the biz? Like, no, mate. Hayley's off singing at a gig. So Hayley's in a band, and they're doing a gig tonight. So she's off singing. So no, I have to get my own. And I've been a good boy, and I'm just having a cup of tea. There is actually no beer in the house. I've got wine and there's whiskey. There's no beer. Unfortunately, it's a sad state of affairs. I didn't think things through properly, and didn't go to the shop earlier on when I had the opportunity. So no, this is a beer-free zone tonight. You were painting some deathcore, and you're currently trying to convince myself to start painting some grey horses. See, again, it would be fine as long as it wasn't for Napoleonics. I did the Scots Greys, and it was one of the most painful painting experiences I think I've ever done. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. It's just something about Napoleonic horses. I know. I think I talked about this on last stream with Miller, and I just can't do it. Can't hack it. I'm not afraid to admit it. You're doing your Prussian units in 12 for Black Powder. Allows you 3 units. Yeah, no, it's good. Cool. Good shout. Peter the Hermit found a lance, right? Probably. I'm going to be doing Peter the Hermit and 2 or 3 units of Pilgrims. That is my plan. So for Rohan, the Militarum Green contrast paint is pretty much perfect for those cloaks, and I am basically just copying what they had in the films because I like it. So it's quite handy. I did find I've got a I was digging through the stash earlier, and I found I've got Bilbo Baggins from the original release. I bought the original box set when it was released, the sort of Fellowship box or Mines of Moria. I can't remember which one it was. No, it wasn't. It was the start set with all the elves and the Barad-dûr orcs, and it came with Bilbo Baggins looking at the ring. I don't know if he's worth anything. I have no idea, but I guess I'll have to paint him up. It's got to be better than Frodo, right? You have your 15 mil ECW in reserve. Right, okay, those two are probably just going to carry on chatting scale, talking trash. Footsore Viking Archers painting session, Rich. I've got some Footsore miniatures, and I'm going to be getting some. I've got some Footsore miniatures for. I've got some of their armies of the Caliphates for this project. I do like Footsore. My favourite Footsore miniature, and I haven't painted it yet. This is the nuts thing. So, is their mounted, effectively King Arthur, in their sort of Arthurian late Roman range. It is a lovely model on a rearing horse, and you can arm him with a sword or a lance. He's for my Dux Britanniarum project, which is another game that I'm actually ready to go. I'm just my opponent. We were ready to go. We were going to film some battles. We rolled up characters, and then he had an accident, and he dropped his box with all of the miniatures in them, and they all broke. And I don't think he's been able to bring himself. I think he just picked up everything really quickly and put it in the box. And I don't think he's brought himself to look in there again. I think it makes him too sad. So I don't know if that's going to happen. There was a guy who burnt himself alive on the Crusade. Which one? Which Crusade? The First Crusade. There are a fair few people that did kind of, quite extreme things. Anytime anyone says something about burning themselves anyway, all I can think about is that Tibetan monk and the cover of the Rage Against the Machine album. It makes a change. You guys can't actually see me licking my brush, so I don't get as much abuse this time. Go and wash that brush out with warm soapy water. Which one? I have got some warm soap. That water was warm when I started it. Bill, beer-free zone tonight. In a week's time, you doubt it. Yeah, I have a feeling. So, there in the pub that's near the venue is well, first of all, it's a karaoke bar, which is probably a dangerous thing. But yeah, I think it's going to be filled with wargamers, half of whom will be happy and half of whom will probably be quite sad that they've lost. The big Joey, 12 figures per unit, and stagger line gives it the same frontage as a 24-man unit you do for Nats. They're all over the place. Line looks accurate for the period. It's less painting. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Because I've started with 24, I'm going to carry on. But I do look back on my Napoleonic project now, and there's definitely a lot of things that I would do differently if I was starting again. But that's probably content that's probably a whole video's worth of content. If I was starting Napoleonics, what would I do differently? Could actually be a fairly good video. You might have provided me with an idea. And Sinead, hello from Arizona. Hello, dude. How you doing? You're paying Pirates of Blood? No, don't tell me about Blood and Plunder. That's another one that I want. Someone put some pictures up, and was it you? Was it you, Bud, who put up pictures in the Plastic Crack podcast group? And it looked awesome. They're doing the 2-player starter, aren't they? And the plastics, and it looks cool. And pirates and boarding actions, and yeah, it just looks wicked. And I've watched quite a few battle reports with it, and I've got a shopping cart full on I can't remember if it's on their website or for a third party website, and I've never been drunk enough to hit the button yet. What ones have I got from Footsore? You like the Arabs with the Greek fireplace? Yeah, I've got them there, and I've got Ghulam Cavalry, and I've got some of the Berber troops that they do, because I wanted to put a couple of Berber units in, because they did fight as mercenaries for the Fatimids and the Seljuks. So they will be in there as well. God, it's 9:30 already. We're going an hour. You find a desire to start a new Dux project, but when you start those videos, you'll finally crumble. I really, really like the look of Dux. I haven't played it. I've read the book. I've done I've played it in little test games against myself. But I am yet to have a full game. I really like the mechanics, the campaign, the sort of abstract campaign play, which was a bit of an inspiration for the little campaign thing that I'm working on. The white-handled one I was trying to press flat. Well, this is my dry brush. I don't wash the dry brushes. That's fine, no. Don't need to. It's just a dry brush. It's all right. This is an old one. I've had this brush bloody ages. It's absolutely fine. More or less. J39, hello, dude. What's my plan for armored arrows? I haven't seen many out there when shopping. Footsore was one of the ones I was looking at. And who was it? I think it might have been Foundry who did some cool looking ones. But I wasn't going to do loads of sort of armored units. I know that's basically due to, I think most of them are metals and expensive. Well, not expensive, but it'll be more expensive. Whereas these plastic ones, out of the 40 strong plastic box that I got from Gripping Beast, I'm going to have managed 3 units. That's 2 units of spearmen and 1 unit of archers, and that's just by adding 3 total of 6 metal command models, basically for the spear units. I got that Gripping Beast box for 20 quid. The metal models were a total of 8 quid, I think. So for 28 quid, I've made 3 units, which I don't think is too bad. And I do like the Gripping Beast plastics. They paint up very well. They're quite simple, pretty straightforward, but they look nice. They just do the job. And they've got enough sort of blank space on the robes that you can add little decorations like hang on, I'll just grab him. This guy here, I was quite pleased with this guy here in the blue. You can just add lots of little decorations on there, or just leave them blank. This guy at the back, just add some dust and weathering pigments on them. Yes, yeah, I thought it was you. It was bloody nice, mate. Went back to the cart. So lots of people just have tried Blood and Plunder. That's a problem. Got too many things to do. Fireforge do armored arrows. Are they the resin ones? Has anyone here bought the Fireforge resin stuff? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if it's any good. I know the Fireforge plastics, people like them. Has anyone done any of the resin stuff? What do they like? I find resin to be really hit and miss. Killer Grease Moon, you're going to be uploading to your channel with your projects, but I can upload pictures of Plastic Crab Podcast Facebook as I progress. Fantastic. Do it. Let's see all those deathcore. Shakos, you're feeling 2 battalions today, feeling the Dom. You're feeling the Dom. That's you might have a few more to go there, mate. You need to have finished the whole brigade and started a brand new project and done all the research, and then that's like a week's work for Dom. It's ridiculous the amount of stuff he gets out. Absolutely great. But actually, to be fair though, it's all good, isn't it? The more models, because as you've probably seen in our games, I like to share a lot of models, and you know, I'll use friends' models and I'll use mine. So if you have a friend who's really prolific at painting, then it just benefits everybody, really. All you got to do is find a way to slip your models in there with them. Max Adams' new book, The First Kingdom, highly recommended. Suggested ducks might be more of a marriage and commerce game than welfare. Okay. Interesting. Might be worth having a look. Stop saying what good value it is on resisting. Are those metals what I'm painting, or are you talking about the yeah, what are you asking? Basically, which ones are metals? The ones I'm working on here aren't. These are plastic. Louis, I'm sorry, I did think of you earlier because I was clearing out my stash and I found a box. Well, it's not even a box; it's a bag of the Warlord Prussians with the 2 metal command figures in there, the Landwehr. I was trying to figure out what to do with them. I don't have your address, so I couldn't just send them in the post to you. I don't know if that would count as hate mail or something if I did that, because I know you don't like them. I prefer armoured archers and heavy infantry. Simon says, "What is CrackCon?" So CrackCon. So if you follow the channel, you'll probably see every now and then every week I take part in the Plastic Crack podcast, which is just 4 YouTubers, 4 gamers. We get together on a Monday night at 8 o'clock for a couple of hours, and we chat about the hobby, what our projects are. We tend to try and pick a theme for each week and chat about it. So last week we were chatting about what was it? I can't even remember what it was. It was Dom's week. Was it Project Shame? I can't remember now. It's my week this week, so on Monday I'll be hosting, and the topic is going to be demo games and how to run good demos, courtesy of Robin. If you're watching, cheers, dude. That's a good topic, and it meant that I didn't have to sit there racking my brains for one in its note, but it's a really good idea to have a chat about. And occasionally we get guests on, but yeah, basically throughout the lockdown period, Ken and Dom started this stream, and they had me on as a guest, and they had Steve on as a guest from On Point HQ, and basically we didn't leave, and so it became the 4 of us on a Monday night, and we kept on talking about how when the pandemic was over, it'd be really nice to meet up and have a game, and we sort of joked about it quite a lot. And then in the chat, where it went from sort of, say 20 people watching to 30, 40, 50, there's about 100 people now a week watch it live. We started getting people saying, "Oh, can I come along? Oh, can I come along?" And then soon there started to be quite a lot of people, and we started to bandy the idea around of actually putting together a games day. And I made the mistake of saying to my wife, yeah, we might do a games day, and she sarcastically said, "What are you gonna?" Because it's a Plastic Crack podcast. She said, "What are you going to call it? CrackCon?" And that sort of stuck. So basically, on coming Saturday, the 16th, we got a games day at Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. It's we didn't quite know. None of us have ever done anything like this before. So we didn't know how many people were going to come, but we've actually got 30 people who have bought tickets to come. It's a sort of ticket event because we're in a venue, and it's all on their insurance and stuff. And we've basically got 11 different games going, including a massive black powder game. We've got muskets and tomahawk, sharp practice, mortal gods, Middle Earth strategy battle game, pike and shot. And we've got some surprises for the day. We've got a raffle to raise money for charity. We've got a painting competition. And it's just a chance to meet up with fellow gamers and have a laugh. And we're all staying in the Travel Lodge that's opposite, and we're all going to be going to the pub afterwards, I believe. And if this one works out well and goes well, we'll do another one. But we'll be able to probably do it with a few more people, and still a few more tickets, because, let's say, we've never done anything like this before, so it was a bit nerve-wracking actually putting it together and then putting the tickets out there and wondering if anyone was actually going to buy any. And as that happens, they all went. So we're looking forward to it. Anyway, I hope, there you go. That's what CrackCon is. You have, yeah, just like V&V miniatures. I've got some V&V miniatures, and I'm going to be getting some more from Meza. I've got a little list I'm putting together for him. I think he's got most of them in stock. And they will mix in very, very nicely with the Victrix, I feel. if you're going to collect anything historically, it's late Roman Empire stuff. Yeah, that's the late Roman Empire stuff from Grip and Beast and Footsore is what I used for my Arthurian project. I used the Grip and Beast plastic late Romans for the base of everything, and then I mixed in metals from Footsore where needed to sort of bulk it out a little bit. That's a fascinating period. Louis baby, yes. Oh god, I've just lost him. There we go. Red Staff. Shaker's Bridge really is spanner in the works of brigade sizes. Yes, that's what you're asking. Or is dude. War game shows. Oh, you're talking about the crack on. Triarius, you're excited for that podcast? I'm running my first big demo at the convention in a few weeks. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to be chatting about on Mondays, demo games. Like, what if you put on demos, what do you try to include? Like, what should you show? What shouldn't you show? I've introduced quite a few people now to things like Black Powder and Dead Man's Hand, and I don't always include all the rules. So, there's certain rules I get rid of because just for demo game purposes, you want to kind of impart as much of the flavor as you can. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be on Monday, and the stream's on my channel. So yeah, pop along. Shaco, so feeling how busy one is with CrackCon 2 might be worth bigger tables. Yeah, I mean, there was this idea that we were going to do it just a little bit before Easter, but I think it might actually have to be longer to allow everyone to paint everything up. Louis, I looked for a box of land there today to have another crack at. I feel I demotivated Steve. I need to get a box and blitz them in 2 or 3 days to prove you can do it. I got some if you want them. You want them, bud. I usually play using kernels as a command element with reduced radius and influence. Yeah, everyone has their own little house rules, don't they? I do. If you watch my games, you'll see there's certain things I do away with. Maybe if CrackCon 2 rolls around, I'll step by. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. Alid, Ian Mann at Balls and Swords is a great guy. He's from the Flames War Conference. Yeah, he is. He's been really helpful with everything. I think he's quite excited as well about having all of the big tables in there. Late Roman stuff. Yeah, do check out the Gripping Beast plastics. Hang on 1 second. Oh! They're sitting right behind me, so I can just grab them. So yeah, Gripping Beast make a nice plastic set, and but Victrix are going to be releasing one shortly. But these Romans painted up quite nicely. Oh, go on there. Plastics for Gripping Beast. You get about 40 of these in a £20 box set, and you can make them up sort of with swords or with spears. You can, some of them are armored, so I'm using the with chainmail. So I'm using the chainmail ones as sort of more elite troops to sort of mark them out. They make a Little Big Men Studios make a full range of their decent shield transfers. And then, like I say, you can mix in some really nice stuff from Footsore and Gripping Beast for command elements. Here's my this is basically my Arthur, if you like. And where is it? I've lost him. There we go. These were sort of my version of Arthur's knights, these sort of more elite companions. Come on, focus. There we go. Great fun. So yeah, I check out Gripping Beast and Footsore, but I'd say Victrix have got a probably equivalent like those Normans I was just painting, so you can see the quality of them. They have got a box set on the way of late Romans. I do just remember seeing there was a couple of crazy looking poses in the initial renders, but that was very much a sort of preview, so they might have sorted those out. Oh yeah, no, sorry. You're just painting a load of PCS 15 late Romans, Plastic Soldier Company. There's no temptation, no point eyes, losing the will to final unit horses. Gone, soldier through. I know what it's like with the horses. Any tips on painting tartan trousers for the 91st Highlands Zulus? The second invasion Zulus is one of my main. So for Tartan, I have done Tartan. I've done it on a few things. I tend to now only do it on individual minis, like because I did paint some Highlanders and I went into it really enthusiastically, and the first base just broke me, and it took me an age to finish them, and I never really wanted to do it again. I would invest in a fine lining pen for some of the details where you can run like that black line down the middle of it, and just remember that it's more about giving the impression of tartan than actually trying to copy the tartan. That's what I did. So I just did I think it was a green base, then I used a much darker green to line in the first set of checkers, then the base color down the middle of that to sort of define it. Then I used a red in sort of the checker points, and then I used a fine liner black pen just to run a line down between them all, and that was enough for me. That was absolutely enough for me. You like the idea of doing the fall of the Roman Empire, Huns and all that? Yeah, great period. That's true. Yeah, we were talking about War Games Atlantic earlier. They do have a late Roman period stuff. So yeah, and they're good for blocking out your units. But it depends what kind of size game you want to play. I mean, you could use it and play Saga and do late Romans in Saga, the Ateas and Arthur expansion. I assume there's going to be an infamy one as well at some point. Obviously, you could go big and play Hail Caesar. But yeah, Ducks is cool. Well, like I say, it looks cool. One day we'll get some games on. Oh, you're going to see Durfel in my Arthurian army. You can buy him. You can get Durfel. He's made by Gripping Beast. They make, it's totally not Durfel and totally not Nimue and Merlin and all of his other little mates. But yeah, you can get him. I did figure that. I thought I'd do it as the sort of later version of him where he's got like one hand. Doesn't he lose an eye? I feel like he does lose an eye. I can't remember. He gets like lots of bits lopped off. That's still my favorite set of Bernard Cornwell's books. I mean, I'd get me wrong, I like Sharp. It's always but the Warlord Chronicles, the 3 Arthurian ones are fantastic. Hello, Andy Budd. How you doing? You're painting Mad War French. Breton Heraldry is your new nemesis. All heraldry is a nemesis until you find a way to go. It's almost like cracking a code, isn't it? If I do these two shapes, it looks vaguely like what it should do, and I'll just go with that. That's how I work for my Wars of the Roses one, anyway. Some Essex ECW infantrymen, then a girlfriend. Now a wife bought me from the 80th birthday. It's still not finished, and you're 58. Maybe you should do them for your 60th. There you go, Louis. Yeah, the way to Tartan is 3 fine yellow vertical lines and 3 horizontal lines. Voila, finished. Steve, I was chatting in my local GW, and they have somehow agreed to play in 6 Middle Ages. They have Romans and Carthaginians who also were Romans at war with around the Punic Wars period. And the Punic Wars, God, well, the other Italian states, Rome was still very much like the center of Italy, and they had Italian allies. There's the Iberians and the Spanish. The Gauls, everyone was fighting the Gauls. With the Gaul, remember as well, the Gauls, it's kind of the catch-all term for sort of France, Germany, northern Spain, northern Italy. So there's oh God, I've forgotten what they're called. What are they called? Not Egyptians. Greeks. I forget the Greeks. There's the Greeks. There's quite a few. Basically, Rome was at war with everybody at that point, and then they all started to form up behind Hannibal because he actually looked like he had a chance of doing something. Killer Greeks, heads up. No worries. Feel free. You can either catch me on the Facebook group, or you can always drop me an email. The address is down below. Which figures did you use for early Saxon? My mate used, I think they were Warlord. Metals, most of them. I think he mixed in with some Gripping Beast metals in there. I think he had like a Pendra model that was mixed in. So all right. Sorry, that was okay. So basically, I've just done all of the cloaks on the Rohirrim there, which is the biggest part. So now what I'm going to do is sort of just split them roughly. I'll do those ones, and then I'll sort of paint these sort of roughly in the same, these groups in the same sort of color schemes, and then keep things a little bit varied. Cheers, buddy. You take care. Thanks for chatting. Vulcan Rome was involved in the later Diadochi wars as well. They're involved in wars all the time. All the time. Right, let's see how it's going. All right. No, it doesn't look like my kids have woken up, so that's a good thing. So, right, I think we will go with some red. No, we won't. We'll go with some, where is it? Snakebite leather. Let's get the armor. Oh God, everything's just falling over now. There we go. You know what would be very useful for Wars of the Roses? Maybe a guide on the various livery. Research is all well, but man, it's the boring side for me. There's a couple of good books on it. Freezy Water made one. But do you mean one that like actually is literally just sits and lists out all of the Lord's liveries? Are you actually looking at doing a project, Louis? Because I've got some stuff that I can probably send you. I've got a list. But yeah, I know what you mean. There doesn't really. I think there's a couple of books that do some broad lists of the well-known ones. But yeah, give me a shout if there is something you're looking for, or if you want just some general ones. I can send you a list that I've got. Got to go. Yeah, take care, man. It's been great to chat, and look forward to seeing those Titans. And you're done drawing. It's time for the mold line removal. That's like Ken's favourite job. Ken finds that like really, Ken from Miniature Wargame Warriors, he finds it therapeutic. I find it mind-numbing, which is why a lot of the time I forget to do it. I think my brain just cuts it out. I do try very, very hard to do it, but my brain just doesn't like it. You've done 200 over the last month. You took the Reaper offer. Yeah, that was a good offer, wasn't it? So I think that's going to have to be the CrackCon 2 game, isn't it? All these people who've started Wars of the Roses and blame me for some reason. We have to take advantage and use all of those lovely miniatures. So we're going to have to refight like Tartan or Tewkesbury or something like that. I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion now. There we go. So, I've got a lot of I think all of you pretty much who I've seen on here was commenting on the First Crusade stuff. So, thanks very much. It's nice to know that you guys are going to be following that project. It's going to be. I'm going to try, as I say, as much to kind of post up about it as evenly as possible between the two armies. So that's why I'm kind of doing a unit, one unit for the Crusaders, one unit for the Seljuks, and back and forth. And then, to be honest, as soon as I've got a playable brigades, I'll probably start having games, because even though the Black Powder rules, they favour larger armies. I think not Black Powder, bloody Black Powder, Hail Caesar. I think we've shown in our Wars of the Roses stuff, like in our last game, you're still quite capable of having a sort of one brigade versus one brigade game if you just tweak a couple of things. I am looking at some other games. Soldiers of God, people have been mentioning. to the strongest. That's another one, which I've been looking at for a couple of games actually, including English Civil War. And what's it called? Deus Vault by Fireforge. That's that always seems to get a lot of shouts. So again, that's another one worth checking out. Anyone played it? Those lovely Fireforge miniatures. It did come down to a toss-up between doing that Kingdom of Jerusalem period when the Crusader states had been established, but then I just or the First Crusade. But it was the Norman that Norman set that did it. They're just lovely. So it's just trying to find the leather areas. I mean, there's a lot of leather areas on these, but oh, I forgot to do the other one's arms, the leather armor. I mean, these sculpts are like 20 years old now, but they still look pretty cool. Oh, Rohan. I don't know if anyone here plays the Lord of the Rings game, but the starter set that they came out with a couple of years ago, which is where I assume that this sprue came from, the Battle of the Pelennor Fields is got to be one of the best value starter sets I've seen. You get so much, including the Witch King, Trolls, Riders of Rohan, Theoden, Orcs, the full hardback rulebook, dice, the whole lot. It was really well put together. So I can't knock GW on that one. That was a top-notch set. I think it's still available. I don't think it was a limited release, but I could be wrong. Simon, yes, the Freezer War Heraldic Banners by County, 3 books. Yeah, that's the one I've. With 3 books, yeah, that's the one I've got. I've also got the. It's just called Heraldry, the Wars of the Roses, I think, and then a whole bunch of conjectural stuff between the two. Tartan 1-to-1 at CrackCon, yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Red Steph, you got back from your tour of Welsh castles, did 20, you now got the itch for the Barons War. Oh, you see, that was another one that I wanted to do. Greatest game, Waterloo style, Dom's Wars of Roses versus everyone else's. Yeah, but Dom's also doing Stanley, so halfway through the battle, he'll change sides, and then technically the other side will win, and he'll go, yeah, I was victorious. Sorry if you're watching this, Dom, but you did pick a guy who chopped and changed. Hello, buddy, how you doing? I'll watch you and the other guys using those contrast paints, and I cannot get to grips with them, so I'll just use Foundry Triads. What's your secret? Yours look great. I don't really know. I tended to practice with them, to be honest. I think it's just they require more control, but I try to just be as neat as I possibly can, really, I guess, and then make sure. I mean, the trick with them is to make sure that they are completely dry before working next to or on them again, because it will go wrong. And I think in a couple of my painting videos, especially one of my early painting videos, I think I actually I left it in. I did consider taking it out, but I thought, no, I'm going to leave it in, warts and all. You can see that I didn't, and the colours just bled across each other. So after that incident, it's always been a case of, make sure the bloody things are dry. That's my main bit of advice. I've got to stop doing that. Skips everybody's comments when you click on it. Lionheart, looking forward to your Crusade progress and still working on a Third Crusade project. Cheers, bud. I did again, Third Crusade, another one I did think about. But I wanted to do something which I didn't really know as much about, and I could do some fresh research on. For my sake, because I love reading and I love checking out and finding out new little things. There's already loads of little things I've found out that I'm going to try and replicate in the wargaming. So that's part of the fun of doing a new project for me, is the research and the reading and finding out stuff that you didn't know. Oh, I forgot to quiver. So basically, I use these contrast paints to do all of my base work, and then I come in and use it, and then fill in all the details after, especially for rank and file troops. I just find it a lot quicker. Obviously, I think, you're never going to replace that look of as you say in there, like the triads, in a nice way, the old style way of painting. It's not to say old, it's not even an old style way of painting. That's not a very good phrase, really, is it? It's just that way, the traditional way of painting. But I think these can be used alongside that to get some nice effects, and that's what I try to do. It's just another tool to be used. What are we doing for time? 10 o'clock. I think we'll probably do it. I'll keep going till about 10:30. That's a couple of hours then. Then probably call it a night after that, and go and find a film to watch. Anyone got any suggestions? Anything good? Everyone's banging on about this Squid Game thing, but I don't know. I probably have to. I think my wife wants to watch it, so I'll have to watch it together. If you hear that weird noise, that's my cat that's just turned up, and he's now sniffing around my late Romans. No, you can leave the late Romans alone. No, go on. No. So I was making sure I put the lid back on. He will take them. He can be a right git when he wants more food, which is what I think he's after, even though he's been fed by me and then by the kids. To the Strongest is great. Soldiers of God have been looking at, but it doesn't seem to be in print anyway. That's something I read. It's not that old though, is it? Use Never Mind the Bill Hooks of Wars of the Roses. Yeah, Bill Hooks is a great game. And that's sort of skirmish level gaming for Wars of the Roses. I do enjoy Bill Hooks, and he's got a second edition coming out soon, isn't he? He's going to cover some other periods as well, and he's going to include some of the later rebellions. And being from the East, I'm quite excited. I keep on thinking about the Ket's Rebellion, because if you follow 1 Point HQ, Steve, again, co-host on the Classic Crap podcast, he did his Landsknecks, and there were Landsknecks in Ket's Rebellion. So there was a big battle outside Norwich, and the Royalists had Landsknecks. So there's loads of Landsknecks battling Norfolk peasantry. How awesome is that? It obviously didn't go very well for the Norfolk peasantry, but it would look cool on the gaming table. So Battle of Dussindale. That's it. Battle of Dussindale. If you don't know anything about it, go and check it out. And if anyone really likes reading or anything like that, the Shardlake books by oh god, I forgot his name. Oh, but the Shardlake books, which are set in Tudor England, the last one called Tombland is all set in Ket's Rebellion, and it is fantastic. The detail it goes into. I forgot his name. C.J. Sanson. That's it. C.J. Sanson. Good books. Do I have any good sources for what the Turks' Fatimids look like? Is the First Crusade Osprey any good for visual? Yep, that's what I've got. I've got the Osprey First Crusade campaign book. I've got Armies of Islam from the 7th to 11th century, and I'm going to be grabbing a couple of the other titles for the period as well. I think there's one specifically on Saladin's army, and that's what I'm using as reference, and that's what I how I decided on my color palette for things. So yeah, it's worth checking them out. Yeah, the Perrys did do. I think the Perrys did most of them, to be fair. Yeah. Contrast paints are basically just heavy glazes, and people have been using them. I used to paint up stuff with that. The reason I like the contrast paints is because I'm lazy, basically, and I can't be bothered to keep mixing. And at least this way, on the face of it, obviously it's not always the case. I should be getting something that, I'll buy one pot of, say, this one, Snakebite Leather, and I'll buy the next pot, and they should look the same, and I don't have to keep mixing. But yeah, that's what they are. It's just another thing to use. Right. Yep, just keep testing. It's worth dry brushing over them, to be honest. That's how I get the and it is, and as Red Sapphire, you paint light to dark as well. So it's kind of the reverse. Epic Joey Martin, as someone who's experienced with black powder, do you have any suggestions for custom rules that can make combat a whole lot deadlier to make it more aggressive for 1870s? You could have a lot more effect on, say, the morale, because the morale saves, you could say, have weapons have more of a, because not a lot of weapons in black powder like have any minuses to the morale saves. It's usually only the cannons. But you could do something like we've done for the Hail Caesar for the handguns. You could say that the morale saves are capped, so you cap it at 5+. So basically, no matter what that person's morale is, they're testing on 5+, unless it's a 6. So that would mean that, like the old guard, for example, would be testing on normally test on a 3, but they'd be testing on a 5. That would make it quite deadly. The stamina values are already quite low. To make it deadlier, you'd just mainly be playing around with the morale, or increase the shooting dice. That's another way, the number of dice. I sort of like to play around with the rules for wavering units and things like that, so that units might run off the board. So that's one of the special rules. I think it's like the first time they suffer a casualty, they got to take a break test, because either they weren't prepared properly, or they're like a freshly raised unit or something like that. So that's always another way to do it. Go download Y, The Last Man. Okay. Catch Rebellion would be amazing. You recommend any of the I've seen Iron Sky. Hello, Luke. How you doing, bud? I have seen Iron Sky. I think I own it. I don't know if I've still got it. I think I might have given it to someone to watch. But I know I do like my horror films. But I find horror films now, I mean, this is not a lot of originality, and I do watch a lot. That being said, I am looking forward to there's a new Halloween, isn't there? Halloween Kills, which is part of the new continuity that's put together and partly produced by Danny McBride. And I really enjoyed that Halloween that came out a couple of years ago with Jamie Lee Curtis in it again, which basically is a direct sequel to the original Halloween and forgets the God knows how many 9 or whatever it was that came out afterwards. Kind of need to do something similar with Jason. Love Death and Robots. I've seen season 1. I haven't watched season 2 yet. Carthaginian cat hates robots. Ted is Ted's my cat. He is definitely not a fan of the Romans. He's sitting, you can't see him, but he's sitting in the door just staring at me now, trying to guilt me into giving him more food. Louis, you're working on Soviet infantry. Nice figures, but annoying sometimes to get the guns to sit properly. That plastic set. See, I was going to grab some of those for Operation Squad and just make a little Soviet force. I say little, they can still take like twice as much as everybody else. Got to get your unarmed rifleman in there following along behind the other guy. Fatimids are pretty interesting. They're almost all mercenaries, tons of Christian Armenians. Yeah, Turkmen, Armenians. There are even some Western European mercenaries that were kicking about as well. It's shocking that on a Saturday night we're all sitting painting toy soldiers and they're all familiar. Yeah, and that's partly why I figured that I wouldn't be the only one. That's why I thought I'd do for stream. It's always nice to paint with company. Except my cat. He's just putting me off now. When Saladin took over Egypt and ended the Fatimids, he ended up burning many of the mercenaries to death, torching the city to contain their power. Yep, basically everyone is horrible. Again, my mantra for history. Thought about allowing the rerolls of any of the ones on the initial shooting to represent the rapid reloading of the breech loaders. That would be pretty brutal, but maybe instead of re-rolling any ones, it would be the re-rolling of, instead of maybe you could just give them all the sharpshooter rules so they get to re-roll 1 dice. Re-rolling any ones could be pretty brutal, because if you're hitting on 3s, then the only way they're going to fail realistically then is if they roll a 2 a 2 or a 1 twice. So I potentially say give them the sharpshooter rule, which allows them to have a reroll, 1 reroll, or give them something like first fire, where the first time that they fire, they in shooting, they get an extra shooting dice, which is absolutely brutal in Black Powder. So someone like a guard unit who gets 4 dice normally goes up to 5. Something that I've played around with actually in my Wars of Roses is ammunition for cannons and things like that. So you could maybe say that the unit has got like first fire until it spends an order to either readdress the ranks or reload, something like that. It's a way, so the order system can be used for many things. So we basically added reload counters to our cannons now, and say that basically you've got to pass an order check, and a successful order check will get rid of a reload cannon. And then the heavier the cannon, we've added more reload markers. So if you want to fire the bombard gets you 4 reload tokens, which means it's impossible to reload in 1 turn and fire it. So it will take a couple of turns to fire. But you could do something similar with, like, say, an ability like first fire, which is, the unit counts. So you could say something like breach loaders. The unit gains 1 addition. Unit counts as having first fire. Once it's used this ability, place a token next to it. This token can be removed with a successful order check, which represents them sort of ready to fire again. And then as long as they've got this, as long as they don't have a token on them, they fire with first fire. If they had a token on them, they don't. So it could give you the option. Might be a way of doing it. Are we talking about participation games on the podcast or just demo? No, participation games as well. That's definitely, demo. That's what I normally think of a demo game. If I'm demoing it, I guess some people just think of it as basically a way to, I'm going to watch a game. I think the best way to demo a game is to get someone to take part in it. That's how a lot of people learn. And it's the best way to do the mechanics. That's how I ended up getting suckered into buying Dead Man's Hand. Hello, Leon. How are you doing, dude? How was the football? I saw your comment. I didn't have a chance to reply. I hope you're doing well, dude. You just missed. Actually, no, I can show you. Look. So there you go. Look, just finished some more Normans. So I've got a standard bearer there, and a couple of fellas. I love these models. And I'll just get the 2 others. So I've just done another base of Normans. Finished off a base of Normans while on the stream, and got some other bits ready. So quality stuff. The Victrix, not necessarily my painting. Chris, hello. Cheers, bud. I'm doing very well. I've got a little bit of mojo back after having a very hectic time of work. So I just want to sort of crack on with them, basically. Yeah, sharpshooter. Yeah, it's just one way to work. Bow, Matt, you're not on my own. My wife is watching telly, but for some reason she doesn't seem interested when I explain the different room. You need to see if she'll play a war game. That's it. Now Hayley's been playing. She's actually passing judgment on what kind of units I'm painting. And when she saw I was painting up another French line battalion, she started to complain that I wasn't painting enough British. I did point out that I don't need to paint anymore because she keeps on winning. He was thinking about ammo, but for archers as well. Basically turn them into bill if they fail. Yeah, that's another thing to do. Or what game was it? There was a system where By Fire and Sword had a system where after you rolled for shooting, you rolled a dice, and basically if you rolled like a 1 or a 2 on a D10, I think it was, you run out of ammo, and either you've got to get like an ammo cart to them, or they've got to go and move next to an ammo cart to reload, or then yes, you have to use them as foot troops. That's a good way to integrate supplies into battlefields, especially maybe not on a small scale game, like if you're only playing like a few units, but certainly like that, like a large battle, like if you were doing a Tartan or something like that, that'd be quite a cool thing to do. A bit like using the aide de camps in Black Powder. So this is Blood Angels red. This is a nice rich contrast red that I use as a base for pretty much all my reds now. unless I want a really, really bright one. I just want to get it. I thought basically painting these up is just a point now of annoyance because I thought I had finished. I thought I'd finished them, and then when I saw that sprue, I was like, no. In fact, that happened again because I thought I'd finished my my English Civil War forces. Then I found a random cannon in the stash, which I've now got to paint. And then when I opened it, it's, one of the crew members is missing his arms, so I've had to email Warlord and say, could I please just have the arms? So I don't know if I'm going to reply or get anything. If not, I'm going to have to borrow a similar looking arm from another kit and drop it on. Oh, bugger! You see that? Yeah, look, that green wasn't. I don't know if that's going to come out. The green wasn't quite dry on the cloak, so the red has just bled into it. Oh, I'll have to go back over that bit in a bit. So you can have it. Put that one there. Five 0 to the England. I don't even know who they're playing, mate. That's how out of touch I've got with football and sport. I went, who are we playing? So you have to catch podcasts and reruns. I stream on Monday and running a game of Gaslands in Harlow next year, so the advice will be very heady. All right, dude. Yeah, you can get it. It'll be on my channel. So yeah, it'll be down there. So yeah, and if there's anything you want to chat about, then yeah, give us a shout. Let us know how. Yeah, if Gaslands is another one I want to try. Your friend in your hello, mate. You were recently involved in a game of Impetus is another system I've got. That's what I wanted to use for my ancients originally, and ended up buying the rules in Italian Wars armies. Probably wouldn't have if we hadn't actually played it. No, that's the best way to get someone to buy into a game. There you go. We've got someone else in Harlow. We're not actually that far away. I'm only in Cambridge. That's not a million miles away. Andorra. I like Andorra. It's a nice country. Teeny tiny. Bloody hot. You're actually in Colchester. That's even closer. It's even closer. Miller, I don't know if Miller's still watching. He's only in near Malden. There's a lot of you in Essex. And I'm working in Colchester next week. And I've just finished working in Harlow, actually. You never finish ECW. It just never ends. Yeah, no, I should probably rephrase. So I've basically come to the idea now that I'm never actually going to say that a project is finished, because they're not, because someone will release some cool model or cannon and then you end up buying it, don't you? So I'm now just working the idea that the core army is finished. So my core army for ECW is now done, which is three regiments of 1 pike and 2 wings and musketeers each, one of which is the King's Life Guard, which I've built up as a large regiment. So it's got like twice as many models as all the others. So that's 9 units. Then I've got the Storming Party. I've got 2 squadrons of cavalry. Then I've got a Saker, a Culverin, a mortar, and a Galloper gun. And I found a light cannon, and that's the one that I've got to paint up. And then as well, I've got the commanders to do, and I just haven't decided which company I want to use for the Dragoons, because I'm very, very tempted by the Bicorn ones, because the Bicorn miniatures are lovely. And then there's a few more things I want to chuck in it as well. I've probably got enough cavalry to make another squadron. But that's what I would call a core army, and then everything else can just be added. So I've got, basically, when I say core, I mean I've got enough to play a decent game. Whereabouts was I digging? What, in Harlow? I can't remember what the name of the bloody place was. Where were we? Down by the water. what are you digging up next week? If you dig 6 feet down in Colchester and find nothing, it's a miracle. No, if you dig 6 feet down in Colchester, you tend to find this layer of burning, don't you? That they everyone seems to apply to the rather angry Mycenae lady who burnt everything down, Boudica. No, we're working just outside Colchester itself. I've done a lot in Colchester, and I've done a lot on Canvey Island as well, weirdly. Don't know why. And Mersey Island as well. I've done a lot on Mersey. I don't know. Roman's got everywhere. Oh, yeah, you've got 37 units of Piker's shot, 22. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, fair enough. And still going. All right, okay. So I know that's the thing. I'm not going to pretend that we just don't tell my wife this, that it's ever going to stop. It's like Napoleonics. I finished the core sort of what I was going to do ages ago. But I still keep on buying even just basic stuff to add into it, because I find the Great Coat French troops just so easy to paint. So if I want a bit of a change, or if I want to knock a unit out quickly, I paint up some of them. So it never ends. It was all 11:30 here. I think I was considering calling it an early night 2 hours ago. To be honest, I'm going to be calling it a night in about 8 minutes. So, but it's been fantastic. So thank you all for taking the time to join in. It's definitely fun to have people to chat to while you're doing this. You were digging up trees in our garden in summer and found part of a human skull. Yeah, that tends to happen a lot. We usually get a lot of panicky phone calls when people have done stuff like that. It's usually a case of just speak to your fines liaison officer or the council. Or if it looks particularly recent, maybe ring the police. Forgive me for asking, but how did you get the wife to play a game? This is something that continues to baffle my patriarchal. So Haley, yeah, there's really not a lot of chance for her actually watching this. So Haley Haley really enjoys board games, and she really enjoys tabletop RPGs as well. But she would never play board games. I think I tried to get her to play like Warhammer Fantasy or something back when we started going out. Probably not when we started going out. It was actually probably more like a year into it. I don't think I'd have busted that out on the first in the first week. But that was no. And then basically it took lockdown, 16 years together, and her not being able to leave the house to get her to play. And basically it's because I had loads of games arranged, and I was just sad that I hadn't got to play, and she was basically fed up of watching me getting a bit mopey. And then she agreed to play, but genuinely she enjoyed it. She had fun. We Haley won't do anything she doesn't actually want to do it. And then I suppose it helps that she won that first game and then kept on winning, because it wasn't a case of I'm going to go easy on it, because she doesn't respond well to it. She doesn't like that. I know better. And that was it basically. And then she saw that it's a fun game. I don't think she'd like all systems. We've played a couple of other games that I've not filmed, and she didn't really enjoy the systems very much. I thought we'd try and do something a bit fantasy. So we played Malifaux. So she didn't. That was using one of the older editions, not the latest one, because I haven't got that. But she wasn't really a fan of that. But she likes Test of Honor, which we're hoping to get into again next week, because of course we started our campaign with that. It's just everyone gets busy, and it's just obviously with the kids, it gets even busier. And Dead Man's Hand she enjoyed, but I think her favourite is actually Black Powder. But she's talked about when maybe one of her friends comes around, getting them to have a go. I don't know how maybe she could try and teach them how to play. Maybe she should run a demo game. That'd be a good game. That'd be a good video actually. Your wife plays Test of Honor with you, beats you most of the time as well. It is a good game, Test of Honor. I do enjoy it. The other one I thought she might like, and I'm desperately trying to paint up, and I keep forgetting because it's in a different box, is Gangs of Rome. Because Hayley really likes the series Rome, and she really likes the gang elements in the second season, so I thought she might like that. And again, great Saw models, and the fact you've got mobs that are running around the battlefield doing people in. Fantastic. CSI came spectacular if I was digging over it with a team of 15. Right. Yeah, that's probably more. Unfortunately, I've been in those situations where it's more likely that things have been a bit recent, so the police come along. Don't spring the fact you're a giant nerd on them until you have already had them hooked. Yeah, I don't think it. To be honest, I think actually when I started is more or less when I started getting back into the hobby is when I started going out with my then to be wife. And I started collecting Bretonians again. That was kind of what got me back into it, because my little cousin started collecting Warhammer, and I happened to see something around there, and I went into a Games Workshop and I saw the Bretonians, and I think that was about the last time a Bretonian book ever came out, so that would have been in like 2004 or something like that. You finished 2 15mm British medics in Chain of Command. Do I get the reverse Dom award? Yeah. I don't know. It'd be some kind of like if Dom had to have like an ironic punishment, it would just be that, I don't know, the paint just falls off of his models. It just kind of like peels off or something, so they're never actually finished. Let's finish this guy here. So I say the contrast paints are quite cool for putting down layers quite quickly, especially because, and it comes out all right. So I've kind of got these Rohan warriors here. Come on, focus. Is he gonna do it? Nope, he's not gonna do it. Let's try this hand. There you go. Look, it likes my left hand. So I've just got the metal work to do now on these, and using some yellow. I tend to find as well with these contrast paints, obviously GW just wants you to buy like the Wraithbone stuff, but obviously any old spray paint. So, but I do the Zenithal Highline. I do spray everything black and then spray, so you can see here, so I spray everything dark black first, and then from a 45-degree angle, I'll spray it white. So you're basically pre-shading. So if you want to get the most out of them, that tends to help. Hello, Sam. You love the channel. I've been watching since my second child was born a year ago. He's got me through lots in the night time and early morning wake-ups. Picked up Demon's hand side. Thank you very much, mate. I'm glad you enjoy it. Nice one. Thank you for taking the time to stop by. I know exactly what that's like. When the kids are born, I watched a lot of people's channels, and there's a lot of the people who are in here actually sort of inspired me to actually start one up. Wicked. And then you've got the Dead Man's Hand starter. Is that the 2-player one? That's an awesome box. You're currently painting a Carthaginian army. She expressed interest in sword and spear. And of course, you've got the Saga version of that if you want to go and play like a smaller scale Saga game. That's on there. What colour am I looking for? Dark Angel's Green. Where's Dark Angel's Green? Dark Angel's Green. Okay. There we go. Right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to hang out. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. There is going to be more content coming up. As I said, the next video will be about the English Civil War and Bard's Regiment. I've got some battle reports I'm editing at the minute. I've got the Wars of the Roses one that will be coming up soon as me and Matt can find a bloody day at the same time when we're both free, or something bad doesn't happen in between. Obviously the Crusader project as well will be carrying on, and I'm hoping for some Test of Honor this week as well. So if you guys enjoyed it, then consider giving the video a like. It helps out. It's always good. And remember to come along, check out the Plastic Crack podcast I'm going to be hosting this week, and we're going to be talking about demo games and stuff like that, and how to put them on, and what do people like, what do people don't like in demo games. So hopefully there'll be a lot of chance for interaction with the chat, and to take some notes as well. And yeah, if you guys have got any questions, then obviously just drop them in the comments, send me an email, and I will catch up with you all again soon. So take care, stay safe, and have a wicked evening. And I'll see you guys all again soon. Take care.